transcended generations through his inventions, art, and even a subject one of the most popular books of this decade. His rise from being born an illegitimate son of a notary and a peasant woman to being the most recognized name in the world, inspiring people to do great things. You have seen many of his ideas transform into modern creations, from his machines of war and the inspirations of flight to his peaceful pursuit of art and musical instruments. You may have used one of his inventions to help you get here today. I am personally amazed what this man achieved in such archaic times, where a person could be easily accused of being possessed by the supernatural. He gave life to his paintings, a soul to his inventions. You may know him as Leonardo di Caro da Vinci, meaning Leonardo, son of Piero from Vinci. By today's standards, you might just call him Da Vinci, and people will conjure up thoughts of achievements and being a subject of Dan Brown's best-selling book, The Da Vinci Code. He just might be the most famous painter and inventor to have ever lived. Leonardo has been noted to be the forefather of being a Renaissance man with his overwhelming curiosity and his unequaled power of invention. He is widely accepted as being the greatest painter of all time, his most popular works being The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa. Da Vinci can take his place in history as being one of the most diversely talented persons to ever live. According to art historian Helen Gardner, the scope and depth of his interests were without precedent, and his mind and personality seemed to us superhuman, the man himself mysterious and remote. To understand the man behind the legend, let's take a look at his childhood. He was born on the third hour of the night, on April 15, 1452, in a small Tuscan town in Florence territory of Italy. Leonardo was the illegitimate son of a Florentine notary, Messer Piero Frosino di Antonio da Vinci, and a peasant woman simply known as Caterina. Being born out of wedlock, Leonardo was not given a surname or the family's last name, however being known as simply as Da Vinci. Some experts claim due to his illegitimacy, Leonardo was unworthy of proper education. This was the reason he did not pursue being a notary, like his father. It was customary at that time to participate in the family business. Without an educational plan laid out before him, he was allowed to develop freely into the universal man he has become. One of the stories of his childhood that he recorded, Leonardo explains his obsession with devising a machine for flying. He explains that as a baby, a kite resembling a hawk kind of gave him like a little traumatic incident when he was a baby. The thing landed in his face, kind of got him all a little freaked out when he was a kid. The experience was certainly traumatic, and historians believe that it would indeed influence him to pursue drawing out, kites, helicopters, and stuff like that to gain his interest in flight. Without being pushed to follow his father's footsteps, Leonardo had to learn many things by himself. From being raised on his uncle's farm, where he learned to draw nature and landscapes, to later in life where he taught himself to speak Latin, the art of physics, and even the human anatomy. Leonardo believed that a person must keep the mind busy to keep it sharp. He was quoted, "Iron rusts with disuse, water loses purity from stagnation, even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind." At the age of 14, Leonardo was given the opportunity to apprentice under one of the most successful artists of the era. The painter, Andrea di Caglione, popularly known as Verrocchio, gave lessons to the young Leonardo on painting and humanities. The workshop was located at the Cultural Center of Florence, where the young apprentice picked up other skills that helped him further feed his intelligent mind. These technical skills, such as drafting, metallurgy, and mechanics, also shone through his ingenious inventions and drawings. By the age of 20, Leonardo qualified to become a member of the prestigious Guild of St. Luke's, comprised of artists and doctors of medicine. The young apprentice now became the master. Later in life, Leonardo was quoted as saying, "Poor is a pupil that does not surpass his master." That kind of got to Verrocchio. He gave up his career after that because he suffered humiliation from Leonardo actually surpassing him in painting and other things. When Leonardo finally began his career in painting, he was commissioned to paint various religious subjects while living in Florence. The first was the painting The Adoration of the Magi for the monastery of San Donato e Scorpito, and the second was a painting that was accompanied for the altar of St. Bernard Chapel in the Palazzo del Signorino. The first painting was never completed, and the second, Leonardo never began, abandoning his project to move to Milan. When he moved to Milan, his professional life flourished. There he painted one of his most famous paintings, The Last Supper, which was commissioned by the monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie. Milan also offered opportunity for Leonardo to expand on his scientific research. Recruited by the Milan's Reuter, he became a military engineer. Even though he despised war, calling it beastly madness, but since Renaissance